परसों पेपर में एक खबर छपी महाराष्ट्र में कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र इज स्पेंडिंग 1.16 crore rupees on purchase of iPads. Now the press started criticizing this. So yesterday we then issued clarifications to the press saying that what is it for? It is for a very important initiative. We will be amongst the first states to start an e-cabinet. So all our cabinet decision-making process is going to be digitized. So you understand that in a government, the chief minister is assisted by a cabinet of ministers, and important decisions are put forth after deliberation. They go from all the bureaucratic levels: finance, planning, GAD, law and judiciary if required, and finally it comes to cabinet. In cabinet, it is discussed and passed. In Maharashtra, this all has been digitized. So now, there would be no physical file for this. A proposal would start from a desk and go to cabinet and come back for implementation, absolutely paperless. Not only this, in Mantralaya, Maharashtra, there's e-office, which has been made by NIC, but this has been made compulsory that all files are going to be digital. In fact, in the new government, when Mr. Fadnavis has again taken back as, come back as chief minister, as a secretary, I sent some files. All were sent back saying, please send them digitally. No physical file would be accepted. Per force, we are going digital. But it's not only here. Look at various other initiatives. Now, if I go very back, in 2015, I was implementing something called CCTNS. It is like an ERP, like an SAP for police, crime and criminal tracking network systems. What it does is that it creates a standardized method of investigation and data interchange. A database is created with every action. So, all over India, you have a common system of FIR. That the sections in FIR, that the form of FIR is something a part of 7 integrated form. So FIR form is separate, arrest, search and seizure, recovery, all these forms still court, charge sheet. These forms have been standardized. Now what is the benefit? That a database is created which is searchable. Now tomorrow, if I want to search for something, let's say thieves who specialize in a particular brand of car. There are people like that who specialize in very particular things. Like even for thieves who do something called house breaking, जो घर फोड़ के जिसको हिंदी में घर फोड़ी कहते हैं, उसमें भी specialization होता है. Some people take away only gold. Some people take away only electronic gadgets. Now when you have a database, it becomes searchable. Also then it's very easy to interchange this. So National Crime Records Bureau is basically a body which links all the CCTNS systems of the country. Now, in case of a cross-border crime, you can now easily interchange this information. That was an old version 1, but now this is totally a web-based system, and I think they're even coming up with APIs. Courts have digitized very well. The judicial system is very well digitized. All filings, everything can be done. In fact, judiciary was also one of the first to start, even taking witnesses on Zoom. Though COVID started digitization and it speeded it up per force, but that has remained. And then this has been reflected in the new acts. So the new criminal jurisprudence acts that came, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and BNSS and BNA, all of these have digital provisions. Digital provisions means that you can register a complaint digitally. Plus there are safeguards, and there is a requirement of a cyber forensic expert to be present always at the crime scene when there's a digital search and seizure. So a lot is going on, and all of the government services in Maharashtra, the Chief Minister has been asking for all of the government services to be digitized. He compulsorily asks in every meeting, how many services have you digitized? Is there any service which is being physically delivered? please digitize it. Now with digitization, what happens is that there is no intermediation and there is no unnecessary delay, right? There's complete transparency. There's an audit trail. One of the wonderful initiatives that is going to come is called AgriStack. Now, AgriStack would be complete information of farmer in a digital identity. The way Aadhaar, Sumnesh is here, they've done wonderful work. I mean, whenever I go to any foreign country, they're bewildered at how India could do a single unique digital identity for 1 billion people. And it's a marvel. And on that India stack, a lot of services have been built. Right from payment services, you see UPI. UPI is a wonder. UPI today has more transactions in volume and in terms of amount, much more than Visa, MasterCard, everybody combined. So India is digitizing. Now, Ravi said that why don't we talk about also HR? All of the services recruitment in Maharashtra, the ads are on digital platforms, the applications are digital. Even the processing of papers from long back is digital. The candidates would get alerts on their mobiles, and many places you have app-related services. Once even the candidate is selected, then there is EHRMS. And right from your Sevarth, which is your service records, to your grievance redressal, this all has been digitized. Not only that, if you come to Mantralaya today, you have a facial recognition system. And it also had a biometric attendance system. Now, this all will be merged. And you won't need to go and put your attendance. You just go, facial recognition system is knowing when your attendance has been taken. So slowly you see that there is a seamlessness which is coming. Effort is being reduced, friction is being reduced, and data is created. So for an HR system, amazing data gets created. Data about efficiencies, about inefficiencies, maybe even procedures like leave, like various kinds of allowances that you have can be digitized, and they are being digitized. So this creates an environment which is efficient and transparent. Otherwise, when generally an employee used to retire, just to process his pension claims used to take 6 months, 8 months. And I am from police, so when I was in district police, you would find retired people coming back and saying, my pension has not started, I have retired 1 year back. All this is gone because you have now a digital system which is integrated. But I think we should now go to the next step. The next step is that it's like Estonia. In Estonia, everything is done on a government card. Everything. Like, except probably a death certificate, everything can be done on a digital card. And they have a system which is called X-Road. Now, X-Road, what it does is that it has encrypted government systems which interact with each other on the basis of an API. And that is what we should have, is that the agricultural system should talk to treasury, should talk to health system, should talk to education. Because let us say that there is one person, let's say Dr. Ravi Gupta. Now, why does he need to fill the form again and again? Why does he need to go through so much of an effort of applying for something? Aadhaar has made it very easy, but apart from Aadhaar, you require many more informations about his eligibility, let's say, for a particular scheme, or whether he has taken that scheme earlier or not. This all can be digitized, and Maharashtra is coming up with something called a golden data project. And it is an all-encompassing golden data, which is one source of truth. And this will have APIs, and anybody, let's say, onboarding on something, can simply talk to this through an API, and it would get information about everything, about the authenticity of this particular applicant, about eligibility, about, let's say, the details of this eligibility as to under what conditions this person is eligible for a particular government benefit. So a lot is happening. But I have one grouse, however. Government systems are good because they are large and they have been used for such a long time. But the UI and UX leaves much to be desired. Especially, I would say this to the NIC chaps, that reduce friction while using software. Like every time you sign a file, you have to again take an OTP. Again, go to the Aadhaar portal, take an OTP. So if I'm doing 16 files, I get 16 OTPs, and it's irritating. So somewhere we'll have to learn from the best practices in the industry that have a single sign-on. If a single sign-on is done, then you let login continue for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or it can be again extended till you're doing files. So you have to look at user-centric approach when you are designing government systems. It can be HR systems, it can be any other systems. Because you are designing it for users. And second thing is security, because government systems have to be secure. See, if there is a data breach of, let's say, Apple or anybody else, or a commercial company, or a car selling company, it's a commercial loss. But with the government, it is loss of trust in governance. And that is very serious. And hence, the cyber security of government systems should be really paramount. And I somewhere feel that government's awareness of cyber security leaves something to be desired. With the new DPDP Act coming, the new Digital Data Protection Act, Personal Data Protection Act that has come, we have to understand that even government has equal liability in terms of a data breach. So we will have to be very careful about application of DPDP Act, and I urge upon all departments and even all corporate bodies to be very careful about DPDP, because like GDPR, the fines are going to be very heavy. So PDPR also has very heavy fines, and we'll have to develop systems which are stable, secure, and efficient. With coming of AI, everything will be changing. Like till yesterday, AI was just a chatbot which was answering some questions, sometimes correctly, sometimes hallucinating. But there's a rapid development in AI, and in last 1 week, if you see, there are something called as an agentic workflow. And agentic workflow is, for example, a deep researcher. You ask it, let's say you want to know about AI in HR systems used in government in India. It will go out, it will find out every paper, analyze those papers, right? Find out important points from them, compare and contrast, and give you a 2-page note. This is an agentic workflow. Google has come up with this thing called Deep Researcher. OpenAI also has a Deep Researcher, which is very expensive, but Google has given Deep Researcher free. Google has given also an agent builder, which is just 3 days back. So agent can talk to agent. Imagine a payment agent. So imagine there's another agent. You say that go browse the net, find out something, and select the best option for me. It goes like a human being, and you can see the cursor moving. It goes and does everything. If I want to say, let's say, go and purchase the best pen for me, it's going to search for the websites like a human, going to compare and contrast, and come up with a final answer. Then you can go to a payment agent. And the payment agentic workflow would dip into your account, make the payments, generate a receipt, and see to it that it is tracked and sent to you. See, this is going to create huge disruptions everywhere. Somewhere down the line, even governments are going to adapt, AI, and this will affect jobs. So as I always say, that AI will not take your job. Somebody using AI will take your job. So there's a huge requirement of reskilling. Even in HR, there's huge requirement of reskilling. That earlier, let's say, you had to do some recruitment. You would take on so many, papers, physically start verifying it. I used to do police recruitment, and for some 100 posts, I used to do for Bombay Police, Mumbai Police, and once for some 1,000 posts, we had 1,25,000 applicants. And imagine this: for each of them, you have to check everything. Height, weight, 10वीं pass, 12वीं pass, right? Other eligibilities, if it belongs to any particular social class, those eligibilities, sports quota, this, that, जिसको कहते हैं खड़ा आरक्षण, अड़वा आरक्षण, सब पूरा चेक करना पड़ता है. And this becomes impossible. But today, with use of AI, you would be able to do it in minutes. Because it can read optical character recognition, अपने आप कर लेगा. It would understand, it would classify, it would check eligibilities, it would create, a report as to, okay, it would do the filtering within minutes. Something which would have taken manually months and months can be done in the next half an hour. Now, this is going to affect the job market. For people who are already in jobs, I understand that government jobs are secure, but you would understand that reskilling of government is very essential. So somewhere, try to understand how AI is going to impact your job. And you see to it that you develop those skills, at least perform the same job, become more efficient by use of AI. I tell this to consultancies. Like एक RFP बनाना है. So आप imagine कीजिए, the consultancies, they charge you so much. If there is somebody from consultancy, I'm sorry, but they used to charge you a bomb for making a RFP, right? PQ, TQ, सारी चीजें, SLAs बनाने के लिए. But today you ask a good, large language model, a GPT or a Claude Sonnet or a Google, Gemini 2.5. Within the next 3 minutes, you are going to get a complete nice RFP. Very well validated. In next 3 minutes, you can come up with an RFP. A very good quality RFP. And you can continuously interact with that prompt and ask it to make changes. It's going to make it for you. Right? So, somewhere, we cannot close our eyes. Shaturmukh nahi banna isme, tufan aa raha hai. So, you have to understand how AI is going to affect your particular context. And I think one thing good it is going to do. What it's going to do is that it would improve efficiency. For example, lawyers, doctors. पहले lawyer को एक case पढ़ना है, किसी ने लाके दे दिया 500 page का पोथा. He can just put it in AI and immediately find out what are the important legal points which are needed to be deliberated here. Otherwise, paralegals would mark it out, so on and so forth. So this all would be happening, but I believe that as humans, it would increase our efficiency. However, we should be very careful that while it increases our efficiency, we should use it as a slave, not as a master. Because if AI becomes your master, then there's a problem. And there are some caution in the use of AI. One, that whatever AIs we are using have been developed by foreign countries. They have not been developed by India. So they come with deep biases of the white man. Because most of the large language models have been created just using Wikipedia and Reddit and some parts of internet, which is a very small output of people thinking in a particular way. The tech world has a very different set of values and ethics, which are very different from ours. It does not know about our nuances, our cultural nuances, our cultural sensitivities. And hence, it is essential that we should have our own large language models. India has started to do it. China is already surpassing everybody. You saw how DeepSeek came. It surpassed everybody. And they showed that they can create, a large language model at 100 the cost. So somewhere we have to up our game. We have to understand how AI is going to affect us. We have to be careful of, we should have user empathy in terms of, even if we are making software for the government, we should see how it is going to make the user's life easy rather than asking him for 16 OTPs. So I believe that we are at a stage where there is digital transformation happening. It is happening fast. And somewhere we are all a part of it. We are sitting in this train. And hence, I believe that we are intelligent people. Let's take charge of the situation and let's be ready for the next onslaught, whatever AI or digital transformation is bringing. Thank you so much.